Hey, what's up, man? I'm having issues with the light right now. I don't know what's going on. It seems like when I have that at its normal brightness, um, it's like flickering with this camera right here. The TikTok camera, the middle one. So you. Anyways, hopefully we should be good to go here on through. Anyways, what's going on, you guys? Hope you guys are having a good day, man. Struggling through this Monday. Let me tell you something, man. Not my favorite day of the week, hands down. In fact, it might be my least favorite day of the week out of all of them, all 7 of them. Monday sucks. Yeah, but I'm alive as we all are for another day. At least another day. But anyways, like, follow, subscribe, Treeline Podcast. I got a cool thing I wanted to talk about today. I guess this is supposed to be like just me chilling today. I just wanted to be kind of chilling. But there was something I was looking into earlier today, which was pretty freaking cool. But I guess there was a huge discovery, not super recent, but back in like 2013. But they came out with a documentary on Netflix about it. That's why I know about it. So I checked it out, and it's about it's what are they called? Homo naledi. Homo naledi are these very small humans from like 200,000 or 180 to 200,000 years ago that were living in like southern Africa, and they discovered their burial site. So supposedly these little humans, and I'm talking like 3-4 feet off the ground, tiny little humans, back before they evolved in whatever we are now, I guess. I guess there's always been like an argument whether or not those early humans from 180 to 200,000 years ago, if they were capable of making tools or using tools, making or using tools obviously go hand in hand as well. A very interesting part of this documentary specifically they harp on a lot was the fact that they found a site to bring their past, their dead. So the Homo naledi people, before we knew humans were even using tools, were burying each other, which tells us that they believed possibly in like an afterlife, or they had love for each other. They were conscious enough to have love. So and their brain was like the size of an orange. They showed it in the documentary. They compared it to an orange, and so their brains aren't nearly the size of ours. So I guess considering the idea that these things were conscious enough to love each other, enough to not be able to sit and watch their loved ones decay, right? Like the reason why we bury our loved ones, well, I think the reason why we either bury them or however, some people got this cool thing that they're like getting like put into like tree soil, so they grow into a tree, and when they pass away, I think that'd be a cool like afterlife burial idea. But other people get cremated, whatever. We do something at the end of people's lives. One, because it's right by that person, right? Because we had enough respect for that person to do right by that individual person. But it's also right to the community. It's just right. It's right to do something for someone's life, to celebrate someone's life in passing. And it's respectful, and it's hard for us to deal with seeing our loved ones decay, seeing our loved ones go through that after that decomposition. Watching our loved ones go through that process is something we can't do. And I think that just not being able to do that started humans early on in burying each other, because we've discovered this thing called love and empathy, and it's painful to watch another human go through the end of their life after you've known them for so long, and now you're dealing with them being gone, and it's that emotion that we didn't know really existed in the early humans, which we're starting to believe might have been happening. Like these guys were burying their dead, their loved ones. Obviously, if not because they believed in an afterlife, then because they believed, or not that, one, they either believed in an afterlife, or two, they can't deal with the pain in seeing their loved ones decay, so they bury them, right? Because we can see any other species on the side of the road decaying, and some of us might feel bad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not breaking down into tears like if you'd have seen a loved one in that same state. You know what I mean? So like, but animals won't do the same. Like you'll see like bears eating their young. Like but I mean, obviously, like that's a weird, I guess. That's a weird kind of correlation, but in any other species except humans, except for the humanoid or whatever, the early humans, us, whatever was between us and them, and then maybe before them and whatever comes after us, like, excuse me, but we're the ones, man, that bury our dead. We're the ones that celebrate the lives of our dead. Like, no other species does that. You know what I mean? And that's what separates us from fucking other animals. I mean, but we see like that love between other animals, right? Like the mother and the cub. Like, we see that love, but that love doesn't last. Like, it does. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I'm sure it lasts. I don't know however long, but like that connection is like almost. It's just science at that point on such a small level. It's just science. Like, we just need to keep the young around for a certain amount of time until they can take care of themselves, and then they can move on their own. But humans and other humanoids, like these group pack people, like they hold relationships till the end of their life forever. So it's like that's just something not other animals, other species do on this planet. And then to find another one, it's like that's also human in a way, but it's like the very early stages. We can kind of see where that started. Where love went from science to something deeper than that, to something I don't know how to explain it, but I do know that it went from science to something deeper at some point, and that about 180 to 200,000 years ago, we were seeing the first signs of it going from science to something deeper, and so I think. I don't know, maybe 180 to 200,000 years ago, maybe that was around the time frame that humans really started feeling real emotions, sadness, fear, and like you look at like animals, they share fear, they feel fear, right? But humans, like we learn, like we have fear to the sense that like it really, like we'll learn from it. Like if I go up to bat like a baseball, right? And I'm not wearing a helmet and I get hit in the head with the baseball, chances are I'm not going to go up to bat without a helmet again. I learned from that mistake, right? But you see like a zebra out in the safari getting eaten by fucking lions, but you'll see the next day a bunch of zebras are hanging out in the same place. So it's like they don't necessarily learn from their mistakes, right? Even if they just watched a loved one get torn to shreds the day before by a lion, right? They're out this same pasture. They're still eating grass. They still got to eat. They're not really fazed by it because they got to keep. I guess because they got to keep rolling. They just don't feel that emotion. I guess I'm assuming that I don't know. Maybe I don't want to like get in an argument with PETA people. Okay, I'm just saying that there's a significant difference between the scientific bond between animals, right? That lasts for however long and just long enough for the younger generation to go on and take care of its own life, take care of itself or whatever. And then there's the freaking the human, where we can, like I said, hold relationships till forever, until the day we die. So like I don't know, there's a distinction, there's a distinct difference between that deeper emotion and that scientific bond. There's a distinct difference, and it might have been 180 to 200,000 years ago is what we're learning. So the way they explained it was probably way simpler than the way I explained it, but for some reason it made sense in my head, so I just said it. So hopefully you guys got something from it, but the way they explained it in that documentary was very very, I don't know, cookie cutter. No, not cookie cutter. That's not right. It's not cookie cutter. It's just it's really kind of emotional catching, you know what I mean? Because they paint out this picture of like this happy, early human family, that live out on the plains of the Sahara, wherever out there down in Africa, in the southern Africa, and they paint this picture where it's like this happy family, and they lose one. And it's dramatic, and you see these early humans like crying and showing emotion. Obviously, the people who made this film have no idea if that's ever took place that way. But we do know that they were at least putting their dead together collectively in one place. Okay, I guess let me bring it back to that. That was the whole point of this. The whole point of this specific documentary that I watched, which is called Unknown Cave of Bones, on Netflix, if you guys want to check it out. Unknown Cave of Bones. The whole main point they tried to get across is that these early humans would literally crawl into this cave, like deep into this really like hard to get into, really tight spaced cave. They would go down in there and drag their dead in there and put them all collectively in. And so whenever someone would die, they would drag them down in there. And they know that. We know that because this guy, the archaeologist in charge of this dig, found the bones down there. They found lots of bones down there, like over like 12 or 15 bodies worth of bones down there, all collectively in that one spot. Different generations. One of them might be the youngest infant to be found in that time period ever. They found in that cave. This dude found that the guy that's in the documentary. I'm not going to drop the dude's name. I already dropped Netflix's name and the documentary's name, Unknown Cave of Bones. Go watch it. All right, I'm not going to break down the whole cast for you, okay? But yeah, so they used it as a burial site as far as we know. Now, whether or not they tied emotions to that is completely just added by Netflix or whoever made the film. It got me tear jerking. I'm not gonna lie, man. There were some parts there where I was like, "Damn, this is really sad, man." It got me choked up a little bit. But then I just kept reminding myself, like, 200,000 years ago, man. How can these guys put this into a film and paint that picture? Like, how the hell do you know? How do you know that maybe, just maybe, they beat the crap out of each other, and when one of them died or whenever they died, they just put all their bodies collectively in one spot for any other reason, let alone emotion. But who knows? I mean, who knows? To hide it from predators, who knows? Maybe when they have their dead, they don't like to leave it out and about. They like to dig it or put it deep down in the cave where they know that it won't attract predators, so it won't attract predators to their tribe. I don't know. There could be a multitude of reasons, but they made it seem like a Disney movie, and it was kind of sad. Because they get the early humans, they got their little kids and they got the mom and stuff, and it's super sad. They like made a story out of it, but there's no story. How can you tell a story that happened 200,000 years ago? How the hell do you know, man? But they're making this story and they put it on Netflix. But it was a good story. It was good to watch. But they painted this beautiful story that who knows if that's how it took place, and then they put it under their label of documentary. So it was good though. It was a good documentary. There is a lot of fact in there. There's a lot of science in there. But when they started telling the story of what was going on back then, I think they kind of deep dived on that because they even said that these early humans were distinctively smiling, which who knows, man? Maybe you could tell with muscle tone or what muscle tone are you finding in a skull that's 200,000 years old though, right? So how do they really know that? You know what I mean? I mean, you could say they're smiling the same way a chimpanzee smiles, right? Huge, shows all their teeth. That's a smile, right? That's I mean, they're using all the muscle in their face to smile, to show their teeth. That's a smile. And the early humans could have been smiling like that too. But was it because, they're happy or they enjoyed a moment? I don't know. Maybe, dude. I don't know. I'm just saying, for being 200,000 years ago, you can't say these dudes were, experiencing emotions, but who knows? Maybe they were, man. Maybe they were. But there was some point where emotions was just science and then went and became something deeper for humans. Maybe it was at that point. Maybe it was sooner than that. Maybe it was after that. I don't know. But there was a distinct point. You can't argue that there wasn't. If you believe in evolution, then you have to come to terms with the fact that there is a distinct moment. There's one distinct stepping stone that the human evolution took to where emotions went from being something completely scientific or whatever, or just strictly science, to something deeper than that, to something that whatever it is now, like literally people change their whole lives for love. People change their whole lives. People literally kill themselves for love now. You know what I mean? Like you don't see that happening like with animals. You can see an animal. Oh man, that's another. See what I mean? Like that's another thing. Like you'll hear about animals getting depressed when they lose a companion or something. So maybe that's something to it, dude. I don't know, man. It's a rabbit hole, dude. And I don't know how much further I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole today. All I know, it's a really cool documentary I saw on Netflix, dude. Nothing to do with UAPs, UFOs, or military. But hey, man, this Treeline podcast is becoming a part of pretty much. You guys are just getting an insight into my life. So this is my life, man. So if it's going on in my life, you're gonna hear about it here, man, on the Treeline podcast. Please like, follow, share, comment, all that stuff, man. I've been seeing a lot more love on the TikToks and everything. A little less love in some of the other platforms, but that's okay, man. I don't really care. I've been seeing a lot more video views on YouTube. That's cool. That makes me happy. I've been hearing a lot about people listening on Spotify. That's cool too, dude. Really stoked about that stuff, man. But I'm gonna let you guys go for now. Please tell your friends about the Treeline podcast. Like, follow, subscribe. I love you guys, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Don't work too hard. Don't overwork. Don't work for what you're working for, like money-wise. Don't give no more work than that. All right. I love you guys. Keep it real. Later. Bye.